Hey Clashes, the rank 2 global player is using quite an interesting strategy right now. And that is 16 dragons, 11 invisibility spells. That sounds easy? Well, not really, because he is committing all of those invisibility spells for the Royal Champion. I will show you exactly how it's played with the equipment right above me. Let's get into it. Okay, we have our first base, let's go. So what are we going for? We have the rocket spear in the beginning, which means we're trying to take a look at an area of the base which we can possibly outrange at least a little bit with the rocket spear to get some more value. So for example, I think this bottom right side looks quite solid because the monolith is not there, the expos are not in range, so that should be the perfect beginning for us with that royal champ. So just like this, deploying her, she's getting some value with the rocket spear. If you deploy her into that expo, into that monolith, out of those defenses, you won't get as much value. As well, take a look at this, we're not using the Spirit Fox, which is really important to note. And the next thing, a huge trick for you, is to use the invisibility spells quite aggressively. Okay, make sure that you're timing it better, but otherwise quite aggressively, so you can turn things invisible. So the Royal Champ is going already to the next building, and your aura is going to finish off other older buildings as well. Just like this. I need to get those timings again better. Come on, we still have 5 invisibility spells, so let's get those timings in now better with the Royal Champ. Again, counter 4, that's kind of like what you're looking for. Oh. That's fine, that's fine. That's one invis wasted, but we have enough of them. Where is she going next? Okay, it seems like she's skipping the air defense for now. Let's skip that building as well, so we're getting better Electro Aura value. And now, yeah, perfect. So we should take down those buildings because we have still the Phoenix, right? Okay, perfect. The next thing now, which is really important, you want to spread out your dragons. Otherwise, you might run into time issues. That's really, really important for your attack. Now, let's get those in here. Slammer. And I want... Is there... Yeah, there was a sweeper. I was just about to say. Let's get it. Perfect. We're getting that sweeper out, which is amazing. So far, so good. We have the ice golems getting towards our archer queen, so that should be fine. We can freeze the town hall if you want to, but I think right now we don't even have to. Let's just use the overgrowth here so the fire spirit is not as annoying. Wardenability, I think right now. Wait. Oh, I thought that was the warden. That was the minion. Whatever. We waste the wardenability. Who needs the wardenability anyways, right? Like we have an OP strategy right here, so we don't need it. Oh God. Pay attention where your warden is. That would be better. But hey, Warden staying alive. The original creator of this strategy, as far as I know, is normally using the healing tome. But I have to say, this strategy is really, really is really problematic when it comes down to time. So I am not the biggest fan of the healing tome. It gives you a little bit more power, but in my opinion, it's not worth it for getting time fails. This now is still having completely enough power. And you won't time fail. So the Rage Gem to me is just working better. And take a look at this. So many dragons alive. The minion prince is there, the queen, the warden, even though we swagged that ability because I'm a little bit stupid there on the like where the warden was. But hey, that was just the first attack. Let's continue and just keep smashing some bases. Okay, next base. Let's get this done. So we have a really heavily stacked core. What can we go for? We could possibly go for... like what I'm looking at right now is really the expo locations and everything to make sure that we're not getting stuck on... Where do we... I don't know, the bottom left side I think looks really solid. Like this left side, I think we can get some great rocket spear value without running into the expos. And that's why I'm going in here. Again, like for me, always the entry point is depending on the expo deployment, and after that it's like, okay, that Royal Champ placement wasn't the best, like where she placed herself. Let's just turn this invisible, and because she's always getting towards the core anyway, so yeah, that's not really the biggest deal. Again, turn some more buildings invisible, so we're getting some greater value. Counter 4, 1 2 3 4, and then whenever you kind of like finishing with 4, deploy the next spell. Again, turn some more buildings invisible. With that, you're getting a ton of value with the aura. This so far looks solid. We even get the town, that's nice. But I think this one right now, we're turning the town invisible as well. So the aura can deal some more damage. This time around, we're doing this invisible. And that's kind of how we keep going through the base, right? We're clearing the entire base pretty much. The aura is catching right now pretty much everything, I think, in here. Yep. Another invisibility. And then we start from... I'm not really sure where we're starting from right now. Top or bottom side. I think the top side might be better, because we can spread the dragons more. And that's another important thing, really, about this strategy. And that is time, as I already said earlier. And if you can spread your dragons a little bit more, it's typically better for you. Let's get the queen in here. We hit pretty much nothing, but that shouldn't really matter too much. Let's reach this area with the minion prince and air defense. And the ice golem should get lured away from our dragons, which is another really important thing. We have the overgrowth. The overgrowth in this one is all about that if there's a heavily stacked area with defense, like raid towers especially, you can like make them useless. And you have no recovery, right? Especially with no healing tome. Which means, like, if there's a lot of splash and things like that, you need to make sure that you're overpowering that. Let's just use this. And this base is just gone. Take a look at how many dragons we have alive. This is just criminal. I mean, that's just insane, right? Warden ability is still there as well. We can use that as soon as we're getting closer towards the monolith or closer towards the wake-up time again of that. Should we use it? Let's just use it right now because I see the air traps popping up. But there is so many dragons alive. It is crazy. I love it. It is just insane. Now let's just use the ability right now. Warden going down, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, there is more dragons alive than some people bring dragons into their attacks. I mean, that is just insane. But yeah, I mean, let's just continue and have some more fun with this strategy. And to really make sure that everyone knows how to play this strategy after this video, we're going to make sure that with this last attack, I will explain everything I can. Again, we're going to check out where the expos are located, which is this area. The next defense which can outrange the rocket spear is, for example, yep, that's right, the monolith, the town hall as well. All of those defenses are not covering this top side. This is why I'm starting with the royal champion around this area. And so because the goal in the end is to let the royal champion die, is to not use the fox. Instead, we're using the phoenix. And the important thing here is to really get those invis spells right, which means you want to counter 4 and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you're breathing again, you want to deploy the invisibility spell. That's kind of the timing. The next thing with the invisibility spell, make sure that you're overlapping some defenses so you're forcing a royal champ forward to make sure that the electro aura can deal even more damage, which is making sure that your royal champ can push even faster through the base, because not only her auto attacks, but as well her ability are dealing a ton of damage to the surrounding buildings. So for example, on this one, we can turn those invisible to force the royal champion further into the base, and this means the entire compartment now is taking damage from our royal champion aura, and this means those 2 key buildings are already going down without us attacking them. This is now where the invisibility spells are running out. We have invested 11 of them, and now it's really important. If you have buildings like left over, like over here, deploy some dragons. We have so many dragons, and typically those attacks are such big overkills that you can bring those dragons as cleanup. Yes, you can switch them out for baby dragons or things like that, but I think dragons are quite cool because they can tank black mines and still survive and still push forward, which is amazing for cleanup. For the queen for the giant arrow, it is mostly if the sweepers have survived. If they did not survive, no problem. You can just shoot bitter huts, air defenses, such things. That's completely fine as well. We're using now the warden ability. The overgrowth again is all about covering up for the dragons and the weakness of this attack, which means you have no hit point recovery whatsoever. Yes, I like to bring the rage gem. You can bring the healing tome too, but you have to be careful with the time. Maybe it's more multitasking if you have to start the dragons earlier. This is why I've overgrowth now the core, to make sure the rage tower cannot go off, the scatter shot and the single fragment tower are not wrecking my troops. And take a look at this line of dragons. It is just crazy how many dragons are still alive, and the base is obviously just completely gone. Which means this strategy right now is really, really incredibly strong. And this is now the next thing which I really want to let you know. There's right now like 10 to 15 strategies which are all around the similar strength. And it all depends at the end of the day how you perform those. If I would tell some people like, hey, okay, maybe the fireball rocket doom attack is a little bit above the rest, might be useless because maybe a lot of people cannot execute it properly. So in the end, pick one of the strategies which I have uploaded the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, and I will continue over the next couple of weeks. But as I said, there's like easily 10 plus strategies right now which are viable. And this is not because the meta is super easy. It's more about the fact that, well, it's just a super crazy good balance right now when it comes down to the strategies, that we have so many of them on an equal strength level. The strength level overall, I mean, that's obviously still dependent on every single person if you like it or not, if you want it harder or not. But the strategies overall are around the same level, which makes it right now super cool because you can play anything. It just has to fit your playstyle, it has to fit your equipment level and everything. But with this one, for example, you don't need the max equipment. As I did yesterday already the video about it, lower level electric boost is completely fine for this strategy and will work great as well, because you have just seen what type of overkills we're getting in here with this strategy if you execute it properly. But hey, that's it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any open questions. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next class video with the next strategy. Until then, see ya and bye bye.